We're going to be entering a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
The not guilty plea at this time. Mr. Reed does have a felony complaint here that alleges that on or about July 9, 2026 at 812 East Jolly Road, number 215, Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County, that he did. This is a felony. The maximum penalty is 4 years in prison and or $2,000 in fines. Your DNA is to be taken upon arrest, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Count 2 is charged as police officer assault resisting obstructing, also alleging that on or about July 9, 2026 at the same address, 812 East Jolly Road, number 215, Lansing, Michigan, that Mr. Reed. I also have people of the state of Michigan versus Derek Reed, file number 26-01689. And that is a misdemeanor complaint that alleges that on or about June 23rd, 2026 at 2515 East Jolly Road, Lansing, Michigan, that the defendant did allegedly participate in the act. That is, again, police officer assault resisting obstructing, alleging that he did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Joseph Pintar, a sheriff, to know was performing his or her duties, that this action was in violation of Michigan Compel Law 750.81D1. Count 1 is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 1 year in jail and or $1,000 in fines. Upon conviction of attempted felony, the court shall order law enforcement to collect. Okay, Mr. Reed, do you understand the charges and the maximum penalties? Okay, it appears that Mr. Reed is invoking his right to remain silent. Mr. Reed does have the right to remain silent. Anything he says and anything he puts in writing can be used against him. He has the right to trial on both files. In the felony file, the file number again ending in 868, you have the right to preliminary examination. You have the right to have a preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date, unless you and resets the matter. At the time of preliminary examination, you have the right to require the prosecution establish sufficient probable cause that the felony you've been charged with was in the felony file. You're currently scheduled. You have a preliminary examination before Judge Buchanan on July 24th at 10 o'clock in the morning in person at the court. Actually, the matter is scheduled for a pretrial conference before Judge Buchanan on July 28th at 10:30 in the morning. My understanding, Mr. Annette, is that your client is unhoused. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, and no phone number right now either.
Okay. But a not guilty plea obviously will be entered by way of standing mute. Don't file in another file that's pending at this time. There was previously a trespass out of this court, and then previously a charge for assault with a dangerous weapon that looks like it was later dismissed. I don't see anything else pending. You can address the bond, Mr. Annette.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask court to consider a reasonable bond in this matter. Mr. Reed is unfortunately he's indigent, he's homeless, he has no phone number. However, he does reside where he stays as in the Lansing area, to my understanding. Mr. Reed has a presumption of innocence. One's a low severity felony, the other one's a misdemeanor, Your Honor. I'll leave it at the court's discretion. Thank you.
Okay, I have him appeared or was present at community mental health back on July 9th, and that he stabbed a CMH employee, was either allegedly assaultive, resisting, or obstructive. And then also in the misdemeanor file, has at least attempted resist, obstruct an officer in a retail fraud. These cases, both having allegedly taken place within 2 weeks of each other, noted that there was a competency concern. The social worker did have to become involved. There was an attempt to try to get some level of evaluation, which I believe was negative as it relates to on, because within the last 2 weeks, this defendant has picked up a number of assaultive allegations, and then one being relatively serious in that he allegedly assaulted a CMH worker with a sharp object. And so I also don't even, nor do I know where he lives, works, goes to school, how he feeds himself. He's been unresponsive. And so a bond that will be set to secure the public safety, because there is a threat to the public safety. Bond in this matter will be set in the amount of $100,000 cash surety with GPS tether. There will be a no contact order in place. The defendant is not to have contact directly or indirectly with Austin Philip Mariasi. The defendant is not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. The defendant is not to leave the state without prior approval of the court, not to use drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Bond is set in the amount of $2,500 cash surety. The defendant is also, again, not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior, not to travel outside the state, not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind, not to use drugs or alcohol. 2515 East Jolly Road, also known as Vape City Smoke Shop. The defendant must report to all of his future court dates and participate in mental health treatment if necessary.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Was that either we handed you this morning or yesterday? And okay. Thanks.
On the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Alonzo Marquise Hickson.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. George Annette, APD, on behalf of Mr. Hickson for purposes of arraignment only today. He did conduct an intake with the public defender's office. We'll be entering a plea of not guilty at this time and demanding an exam.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Hickson, I have a felony complaint here that alleges that on or about July 10th, 2026, at or near Willow Street near Knollwood Avenue in Lansing, Michigan, 48906, that you did allegedly commit the act of weapons carrying concealed. The allegation, that being a Chevrolet Malibu, and that this was contrary to Michigan Compel Law 750. This is a felony, and the maximum penalty is 5 years in prison or $2,500 in fines. Mandatory forfeiture of the pistol or weapon or devices is also required under the law. Do you understand the charge, sir, and the maximum penalty? The court is going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. You have the right in this matter to have a preliminary examination because you are being charged with a felony, and you have the right to have that examination within 21 days of today's date, unless you waive the timeline of 21 days or the court finds good cause to go beyond the 21 days. At the time of your examination, you have the right to require the prosecution establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a felony was committed and sufficient probable cause to charge you as the person who committed the felony. Do you understand your rights so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have the right, again, to the presumption of innocence. You have the right to maintain your innocence and take this matter to jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to maintain silence and they can't use the silence against you. So you have the right to see, hear, or question any witness called to testify against you at your trial, the right to have witnesses subpoenaed to testify on your behalf, the right to present evidence that you believe show a defense to this charge, and the right to waive your silence and give your own testimony at your trial. You're currently scheduled for probable cause conference before Judge Cynthia Ward on July 24th at 8:30 in the morning. You have a preliminary examination before Judge Ward also in July, but on the 31st at 8:30 in the morning in person.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you currently employed? Who are you on parole for?
First degree murder.
Counsel, you can just on.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask the court to consider a reasonable bond in this matter. Mr. Hickson is residing with his mother in the Lansing area. I believe he has 2 children on the way. He is seeking employment. I believe he's a parole hold, based on the fact that he's in custody on a new allegation. So I'll ask for it to keep it reasonable because it sounds like he's probably not gonna get out for some time. Considering the 2 factors, public safety and flight risk, Your Honor, there's no allegation of assaultive behavior. It's just the allegation of mere possession. Or as a flight risk, Your Honor, I have no information regarding that. He's on parole. There's only so far he can go. Thank you.
The bond is set in the amount of 2,500 cash surety. These are your conditions. You must report to all of your future court dates. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You're not to travel without a valid prescription. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
No, ma'am.
Michigan versus Ulysses George Jackson. Appearance, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. George Annette, APD, on behalf of Mr. He did conduct an intake with the public defender's office this morning. We're going to be entering a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
And you're Ulysses George Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have here a felony complaint. The allegations are that on or about July 12th, 2026, at the area of North Homer Street in East Saginaw in Lansing, Michigan, that you did allegedly commit the act in count 1 of cocaine, heroin, or other narcotic less than 25 grams. It alleges that you did knowingly or intentionally possess less than 25 grams of a mixture containing the controlled substance cocaine, that this was contrary to MCL 333. and that's a felony. Maximum penalty, 4 years in prison and or $25,000 in fines. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir? I also have here a notice of intent to seek enhanced sentencing as a second habitual offender under MCL 769.10. It says, take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of the following felony offenses or attempting to commit the following felony offenses, and that on or about March 4th, 2009, he was convicted of the offense of controlled substance delivery, manufacturing of cocaine, heroin, or another narcotic less than 50 grams in violation. That enhances your penalty to 1.5 times the maximum sentence on the primary offense or lesser term. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for a first conviction. Do you understand? You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you were to stand mute, the matter will just go through each stage until you get through your jury trial. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You can maintain your innocence and take this matter to jury trial and require the prosecutor to prove your guilt by proving each element of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Because you are being charged with a felony, you do have the right prior to any trial to hold a preliminary examination, and you have the right to have that preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date, unless you waive that timeline or the court finds good cause to go beyond the 21 days. The purpose of the preliminary examination is your right to require the prosecutor establish whether or not charge you as the person who has committed the felony. You are currently scheduled for probable cause conference before Judge Stacia Buchanan, July 23rd at 9:30 in the morning. You have again, at the time of trial, you can maintain your silence and not have silence be used to prove or imply that you're guilty. If you were to go to trial again, you have the right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to cross-examine any witness called to testify against you, and the right to waive silence and take the stand and give your own testimony or present evidence that you believe show a defense to this charge. Do you have any?
No, ma'am.
Okay, the court is entering a not guilty plea on your behalf, and we are noting that you are requesting a public defender.
Yes. Carol's painting.
Who's painting? What do you do? What do you do there?
Paint barns, grain bins, 429 Catherine Street, Lansing, Michigan.
What's your phone number?
517.
Jackson, you can address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask court to consider a PR bond, if not a PR bond, a reasonable bond. Mr. Jackson reports that he works at Tom Carroll Painting. He's been there doing it for 10 years. He's an Ingham County resident, lives in Lansing. This is a low severity felony offense that does not have any assaultive allegations in it, Your Honor. Mr. Jet, and I have no information regarding flight risk. I leave it to the
A bond is set in the amount of $2,000 personal recognizance. While out on bond, you have the following conditions. You're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol, marijuana, or other illegal controlled substances. You are not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. Not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You must report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release from custody. Okay, and then you also must appear to all of your future court dates. Do you have any questions at this time?
No, ma'am.
She was going to conduct an intake with the public defender's office. We're going to be entering a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
You're Regina Blacksmith? Okay, I have a felony complaint here. The allegations are that on or about July 11th, 2026, at 410 East Jolly Road, Lansing, Michigan, that you did allegedly commit the act of robbery armed and that you did in the course of committing a larceny of boxes of cigarettes, assault or put in fear a person present, that be in a Taiwan third guild, or any term of years. There is count 2, police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing, which alleges that on or about July 11, 2026 at 410 East Jolly Road, Lansing, Michigan, that you did.
Yes, Your Honor.
There is a notice of intent to seek enhanced sentence as a habitual fourth offender under MCL 769.12. It says, take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of the following. They were convicted of the offense of malicious destruction of fire or police property in violation of Michigan Compel Law 750. And that on or about December 12, 2024, they were convicted of the offense of police officer assaulting, resisting, obstructing in violation of MCL 750.81D1 in the 56th Circuit Court for Eaton County, State of Michigan. And that on or court for Eaton County, State of Michigan, and therefore is subject to enhanced sentences under MCL 769.12, or your maximum penalty is life if the primary offense has a penalty of 5 years or more, or 15 years or less if the primary offense has a penalty of under 5 years. The maximum term for the first conviction. Your primary offense is already facing up to life in prison if convicted. You understand the charge, the maximum penalty, and the fact that the prosecution is seeking a enhanced sentence under the habitual offender fourth offense notice. You understand that?
Yes.
And if you're questioned by law enforcement, if you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the public defender's office appointed at the expense of the public. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You can maintain your innocence and take this matter all the way through the jury trial. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, the matter will continue through each stage of the prosecution until a jury verdict is rendered. You do have the right to a preliminary examination because you are being charged with felonies. You have the right to have that exam within 21 days of today's date, unless you're waiving the timeline or the court, for some reason, finds good cause to go beyond the 21 days. You have here a preliminary examination scheduled before Judge Buchanan in person at the court, July 30th at 9 o'clock in the morning. You have a probable cause conference before Judge Buchanan, July 23rd at 9:30 in the morning. Did you receive your notice to appear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Again, you do enjoy the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. At the time of trial, you maintain that presumption by right and can require the prosecution to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to see, hear, or question any witness called to testify against you at trial. You have the right to subpoena witnesses or have witnesses subpoenaed to testify on your behalf, and the right to present evidence or testimony that you believe show a defense to the charges being brought against you. Do you have any? Excuse me?
My mother helps me. That's not daily. 48910. I don't live with her, but if I get probation, I could have an address. Can
What's
I,
your phone number?
I don't, her number is 246-517-246. Yes.
Do you not have your own phone number?
No.
Okay. Probation, it would only be an option if you were to be found guilty. We're not at that stage, ma'am. This is an arraignment, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask court to consider a reasonable bond. Miss Blacksmith is unemployed. She's homeless. She doesn't have a phone. Right now is a hard time for her. She has a presumption of innocence in this case. Miss Blacksmith has been living in Lansing her whole life, so she's not intending on going anywhere. She can't go anywhere because she has nowhere to go. And even if you were to give her a bond in the thousands of dollars, she's not gonna be able to post it ever. Very unlikely. And I believe as her mother can only help her out so much. I leave it to the court's discretion on what bond may be. I just ask the court to keep it, if the court could keep it to a month so she can maybe at some point afford to get out, to say remain free out on bond while this case is pending. Thank you.
The allegations as pled in the affidavit of probable cause is that your client appeared, which is a dangerous weapon. In most cases, a box cutter can slice you thinner than about over $200 worth of cigarettes for some, is the alleged. It didn't just get testimony evidence, but that the officers reviewed and uploaded camera footage of your client, in fact, stealing from the cosmetic aisle, and another video from the security cameras, which alleged to show the altercation between your client and the clerk at the location of the alleged event. So my concern during a arraignment is never whether or not the client of yours can post the bond. It's whether, and that is my concern here, because the allegations are threatening. They're assaulted allegations, and they're allegations of someone going into a store and
I would do nothing but.
Hey, Ms. Blacksmith, don't talk, please.
allegation of a risk to the public safety. The bond will be set appropriately to secure the public safety in the amount of $50,000 cash surety. Again, your client is being charged also as an habitual fourth offender and is facing life if convicted in prison. And so these are very serious charges. I don't even time, I think bond is appropriate as set. And while on bond, she's not to have contact directly or indirectly with a person by the name of Taiwan Third. She's also not to be at the Walgreens at 410 East Jolly Wool Road or not within 1,500 feet of that address. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to use, purchase, or possess a firearm, ammunition, or dangerous weapon of any kind. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You must report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release, and you will be released only on GPS tether. Do you have any questions at this time?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The state of Michigan versus Zachary Shearer, 26-00598. Appearance, please.
One moment, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
That charges 3 counts of failure to pay child support. And count 1, the allegations are that you failed to support your child in the amount or at the time stated in an order entered by Ingham County Circuit Court File 2019024370 DC, and that was 3. They're identical counts. Each count maximum penalty 4 years in prison and or $2,000 in fines. It says the outstanding arrearage as of November 5th, 2025 is $26,750. You understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you have the right to an attorney. Mr. Annette is representing you today for the purposes of your arraignment only, but you do have the right to have an attorney with you at each stage of the criminal prosecution and the right to have an attorney represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to be represented by the public defender's office at no expense to you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. So you can plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. The court has already entered your not guilty plea. If you were to stand mute, the matter will continue all the way through each stage until you got a jury verdict. You have the right to preliminary examination in each count because they're felonies. The right to have that examination within 21 days of today's date, unless you're going to waive that timeline or the court finds good cause to go beyond the 21-day timeline. At the time of the exam, you have the right to require the prosecutor establish sufficient probable cause that a felony or the felonies you've been charged with were committed, and sufficient probable cause to charge you as the person who committed the felonies. You understand? to charge you as the person who committed the felonies. You understand those rights so far? You have the right again to the presumption of innocence. You can maintain your innocence, take this matter to trial, and require that the prosecution prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. At the time of trial, you have the right. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am. It's in Rio Town, Lansing. My sister and brother-in-law are co-owners. It's like a pizzeria brewery.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's been a while since I ever did a child support arraignment. I believe there's a statute that requires 25%. Okay. And I did the math. If the total is $26,759.43. I think that's what you said.
That is correct. 25%. I calculated $6,689.75.
I would ask for the court to make bond that respectfully, Your Honor. I don't believe my client has any criminal history. To my understanding, he's gainfully employed and he's born and raised in Lansing, and it's a low severity felony offense, Your Honor. Thank you.
In this particular case. So you must post a bond in cash, $6,689. Also, your bond conditions include your requirement to report to all of your court dates. State of Michigan versus Elena Mae Olson Tyler, 26-01666. Appearance, please.
Thank you. She did conduct an intake with the public defender's office. After a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
Okay, you are to be arraigned on. The allegations are that on or about April 22nd, 2026 at 109 North Foster Avenue. That's located in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, that you did household and that this was in violation of Michigan Compel Law 750.812. That's a misdemeanor and the maximum penalty. If the assault was committed in a place of confinement, the court may order the sentence for this offense to run consecutively to any sentence the defendant was serving or the sentence for the offense for which the defendant was detained. You understand the charge, ma'am, and the maximum penalty?
Yes, ma'am.
To have an attorney represent you, Mr. Annette is representing you today for your arraignment only. Request for a public defender, and you by right have the right to request a public defense to represent you at the expense of the public if you're unable to afford to hire your attorney. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at all of your court dates and the right to have an attorney represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement. You are being charged with a misdemeanor. You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You can maintain your innocence and take this matter to jury trial and require the prosecutor to prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge of domestic violence beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to see, hear, and question any witness that the prosecution calls to testify against you at trial, the right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to remain silent, not have that silence be used against you at your trial, or you can waive silence and take the stand and give your own testimony, and you have the right to present evidence that you believe show a defense to the charge. You are scheduled for a pretrial conference with Judge Cynthia Ward on August 3rd at 2 p.m. You should have received the notice to appear. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. At Falsettos Casanova,
You said,
in Charlotte,
what's your address?
1111 Fairview Highway, Charlotte.
And your phone number.
517-212-6941.
History, you can address bond, Mr. Annette.
Thank you. I'd ask her to consider a PR bond on this matter. It's my understanding that this is Miss Olson Tyler's first time ever being arrested. She's had no interactions with law enforcement. Any interaction in regards to any allegations. She's born and raised in Lansing. She's a homeowner. She's been gainfully employed for almost a year at Falsettos. I'd ask her for a PR bond on this matter. Miss Olson has presumption of innocence in this matter. I don't see any concern for public safety. And flight risk, to my understanding, based on the information I obtained. And then for flight risk or public safety, this is just
Yes.
she has 4 minor children that she takes care of. I made her aware of the no contact order. Her concern was the contact to get children. If the court would allow a third party contact for arranging of visitation, pickup, drop off, etc.
Okay, and bond is set in the amount of 500 personal recognizance with the following conditions. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with David Abraham Lloyd Tyler.
I have 2 children with him, but there's 4 children, minor children in the home. I have I have a daughter that's separate from him, and then he has a son that's separate from me, that all 4 of them are in the home.
Are
But
you
me and
saying
him
that
have,
you live in
me
the
and him
same
have
home?
2 children. We do. But
Okay,
I mean,
and you understand that during the pendency of this matter, you are not able to live in the same home, correct?
yes.
So obviously, there's no family court order regarding the care of the children. So who are you suggesting could be used as a third party, ma'am?
Does it only have to be one person? Because I mean, we have multiple friends that could help out. It just depends on people's schedules. I've never
Where are you
gone
going
through.
to
My friend has told me that I can come stay with her. I don't know her address.
Okay, I will allow third party contact for the purposes of child care only. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You're not to use drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're not to be within 2,000 feet of wherever. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
It's probably City of Lansing, is it? City of Lansing versus Rusty Button, 26-00588. Counsel appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. George Annette, APD, on behalf of Mr. Button, for purposes of arraignment only today. He did conduct an intake with public defender's office, entering a plea of not guilty, at this time asking for a court date.
Okay, so you're Rusty Button?
Yes, I wasn't aware of my court date, ma'am, because they have changed it, and me and my son's mother split up, and I've been staying with my sister, so I didn't get the court date because I was using my baby mama's phone.
Okay, yeah, because it looks like your court date was originally going to be on the 4th of May, correct?
Yes, ma'am, and then they had changed it.
Did you appear before my court?
Yes, ma'am, and then they rescheduled because they said they had trial or something going on in court.
Appeared, they gave you a court date in your hand.
No, ma'am, they said that they would contact me with the court date.
Okay, but you changed your address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and did you notify the court that you changed your address?
I had no phone, ma'am.
Yeah, because actually your bond requirements require for you to notify the court in writing if you change your address.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what is your address?
It's 1087 South Crystal Road.
Oh, okay. So none of the excuses that you gave me actually stuck, because you did get a note sent to that address. If you left the court date on the 4th before we printed out your next court date because we were in trial, we would have mailed it, and I see a copy in the file where it says it was mailed to the address of record, and it was the 1087 South Crystal Road. So I don't know and that's been your address the entire time of this case. The matter will be reset.
That's mine, ma'am.
It absolutely is. You can't later put it on anybody else but you. We don't have a pending driving while license is suspended. You do. Reinstate your bond at. You say you don't have a phone number?
No, ma'am. I have my parents' landline number, the house phone for the address that I'm going to be staying at.
Do you know who your attorney is? I don't know if it's Mr.
Ms. Straub.
No, it's Miss Straub. You need to be in communication with Miss Straub. And you should probably get in contact with her this week, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And find out what you can do about your licensing issue before you meet with the city, because my understanding is you not yet appeared personally on a date with the city on this. And the way the city set up their offers is they'll only give you certain offers if you've made efforts to fix the issue before your next court date, okay? But again, you talk to your attorney about whatever's going on and that end, and then your attorney can also confirm your next court date with you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
But it's not her responsibility to appear in court on that date. It's yours. You understand that? And you won't get that date today. You'll get it in the mail. Again,
Yes.
your bond is reinstated. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Any additional matters, Mr. Annette?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set, sir. State of Michigan versus Ronald Edward White. Oh, you get blank sheets here. I don't know what's happening. Okay, Mr. White, I do have here a misdemeanor complaint. The misdemeanor complaint alleges that you in count one committed the act of assault and battery in count one and count two. The allegations are that on both counts that on or about July 10th, 2026 at 707 Armstrong Road, Lansing, Michigan, that you did allegedly commit an assault or assault and battery upon the following person in count one, that being a Megan Ann Starren, and in count two, a Serena Landfair, and that in both counts one and count two, it was in violation of MCL 750.811. Both counts one and count two are misdemeanors. The maximum penalty are 93 days in jail apiece and or $500 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. You understand the charges read and the maximum penalty in each count.
Yes.
The court is noting that you have made such a request. The court is also going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, but I will advise you that you do have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. By stand, it's going to be August 4th at 8:30. Did you receive a notice to appear?
Yeah. No,
Yes, no, which one is it?
no. No,
You did not get a notice to appear?
no, not yet.
Okay. Does the jail have his paperwork?
He's got it.
Okay. We'll make sure that you get that today before you leave the Zoom room that you're in now. You understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. 707 Armstrong.
In Lansing?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask court to consider a PR bond, if not PR bond, a reasonable bond. Mr. White is going to be going to my understanding, a rehabilitation center soon. Mr. White is also indigent. He receives Social Security disability. His goal is to get out and go to the rehabilitation center and make sure he comes to all his court dates. I did not.
Today, further to know.
You going to rehab in Lansing, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, it's still your requirement to update the court on your address or change of address. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Bond is set in the amount of 500 personal recognizance. While out on bond, you are not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of this court. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind, and you're not to use drugs or alcohol unless you have a valid prescription, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with Megan Ann Starren and a Serena, I believe it is, Landfair.
Okay.
You're not to be wherever they are, not to be within 2,000 feet of them. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I want to make one correction just because maybe I misread my intake. Mr. White, do you live at a rehabilitation center or are you going to one? I apologize.
I'm staying at one right now.
Okay, so Your Honor, that's I was mistaken in that, Your Honor.
Yeah, I believe that the affidavit of probable cause said that that the allegations is that he assaulted the supervisor of the rehab.
Okay, yeah, mistaken. He's not going to one. He is at one. So I take back what I said earlier. I apologize.
Okay, well, I don't know where he's gonna go because I think that both both of these individuals are employees of the rehab,
Right.
because he's not allowed to be where they live, work, or go to school.
Mr. White, do you have another address, a family member, or friend?
No,
Okay, have you
I'll
seen
find
it?
some,
Okay,
in some place.
Okay. With that, let's see, the offense was the 707 Armstrong. You don't have a home address, sir? Again, you need to update the court on a valid address. You need to do that within 48 hours, okay? State of Michigan versus Michael James Hartel. Can I have your appearance, please, counsel?
George, Annette, APD, on behalf of Mr. Hartel, for purposes of arraignment only today, he did conduct an intake with the public defender's office. We'll be entering a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
Okay, right here, the allegations are that in count one, you did allegedly on or about July 11th at the area of 2214 South Rundle Street, Lansing, Michigan, 48910, commit an act of assault or assault and battery upon a Stephanie Lynn Carruth, an individual with whom the defendant has or has had a dating relationship or resident or former resident of the defendant's household, and that this was in violation of Michigan Compel Law 750.812. It's a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. If the assault was committed in a place of confinement, the court may order the sentence for this offense to run consecutively to any sentence the defendant was being detained. There is, however, a second offense notice. It says, take notice of the defendant was previously convicted of assaulting or assaulting and battering the defendant's spouse, the defendant's former spouse, or an individual with whom the defendant has had a deal, and therefore upon conviction will be subject to an enhanced sentence of under MCL 750.814 in the legislature in the 54A District Court. So that would enhance your sentence if convicted to a misdemeanor of 1 year and or $1,000 in fines. If the assault was committed in a place of confinement, the court may order a consecutive sentence. Do you understand the charge, the maximum penalty, and the enhancement due to the second offense notice, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have the right to an attorney. Mr. Annette is representing you today for the purposes of your arraignment only. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at all of your court dates, and the right to have an attorney represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request for the public defender to represent you at the expense of the public. So the court is going to note that you have entered a request for the public defender and enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. You have the right, though, to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you were to stand mute, the matter will continue all the way through to jury trial. At the time of jury trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. Yet you can maintain your innocence and require the prosecutor first prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to see, hear, or question any witness called to testify against you. The right to subpoena witnesses that will testify on your behalf. The right to remain silent again and not have silence be used to prove or imply that you are guilty. Where?
Barnes Aerospace.
Repeat that, please.
Barnes Aerospace.
What do you do there?
Machinist.
What's your home address? Is it the address of the location of the alleged incident?
No longer. I was notified that she moved out as of yesterday by my father. He's there taking care of the dogs and chickens and stuff. I believe she moved back. I'm sorry.
You can repeat what you were gonna say.
I believe that she moved back to Goodrich, Michigan.
Okay, you do have a pretrial conference that's scheduled before Judge Anthony Flores. It's gonna be July 27th at 9 a.m. Did you get a notice to appear, sir? What's your phone number?
517-775-2846.
Are you on probation or on parole?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask the court to consider a PR bond, if not a PR bond, a reasonable bond. Mr. Hotel is gainfully employed as a machinist. He's been there for 4 years. He's been living in Lansing for 11 years and Charlotte prior to those 11 years. He's always been local. Mr. Hartel has a presumption of innocence in this matter, Your Honor. I have no information regarding flight risk. Regarding public safety, Your Honor, this is a mere allegation. Thank you.
Personal recognizance with GPS tether. You're not to be within 2,000 feet of wherever Stephanie Carruth is. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And that includes, and so also while out on bond, you're not to engage in any assaultive or any threatening behavior. You're not to use, purchase, or possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to use alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you have any questions at this time?
Is the tether pertaining to a possible flight risk per se, or? is it
No, it's
just-
for safety of the alleged victim based on the allegations.
Then I think of the public defender's office today. Granted a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
There's a lot of like, okay, Ms. Gonzalez, I do have a felony complaint here with the allegations that on or about July 11th, 2026 at the area at or near West Willow. And that's a felony. The maximum penalty is 4 years in prison. Okay, you do have the right to an attorney. You have the right to have an attorney with you at all of your court dates, and you have the right to have an attorney represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you can't, and requiring they prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt, you have the right to remain silent at any trial and not have silence be used against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any witness called to testify against you, the right to call witnesses to testify on your behalf, the right to present evidence that you believe show defense of the charge, the right to waive your silence at trial and give your own testimony if you'd like. Do you have any questions about those rights at this time?
No, ma'am.
He's currently on probation or on parole.
No, ma'am.
Do you have any other criminal matters pending?
No. No, ma'am.
What's your home address?
It's gonna be 416 Cypress Lane, East Lansing. I'm not sure about the zip code.
How long have you lived there?
I just moved there like 2 months ago. I just started like fully settling in.
Are you employed?
I'm door dashing right now. I'm actually currently trying to get another job at Bridgewater.
So you're returning to your job at Bridgewater?
I was trying to get a job at Bridgewater. My stepdad works there and put in a good word for me, so I just had to go in and complete the stuff.
299-7228.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't see any prior criminal history. Mr. Annette, you can address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask court to consider a PR bond, if not PR bond, a reasonable bond. Ms. Gonzalez has never been arrested before. I understand she has no criminal history. She has 2 minor children that she takes care of. She's currently door dashing and looking for a job at Bridgewater. I don't have any information regarding flight risk grantor or public safety. I'll leave it to the court's discretion. Thank you.
Okay, bond is set in the amount of 1,000 personal recognizance. While on bond, ma'am, you have the following conditions. You're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol or drugs unless you have a valid prescription. I am going to order weekly urinalysis or substance abuse testing while out on bond. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You must report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release. Now, this is the state of Michigan versus Trina Ashanti McAfee.
Thank you, Your Honor. George Annette, APD, on behalf of Ms. McAfee, for purposes of arraignment only today, she did conduct anything with the public defender's office. Be entering a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
Okay, you.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have a felony complaint that you need to be arraigned on with the allegation that you allegedly committed the act in count 1 of weapons carrying concealed in that on or about July 10th, 2026 at 525 Leslie Street, Lansing, Michigan, 48912. That you did. There's count 2, weapons, firearms, possession by prohibited person, alleging also that on or about July 10th, 2026 at 525 Leslie Street, Lansing, Michigan, that you did possess and or forfeiture of the weapon or devices required under the law. Count 3, weapons, felony, firearm, alleging that on or about July 10th, 2026 at 525 Leslie Street, Lansing, Michigan, 48912, that you did allegedly carry or have in your possession a firearm at the time that you committed or attempted to commit the felony of prohibited person in possession, and that this was contrary to MTL 750.227B. That's a felony. Maximum penalty is 2 years consecutively with and preceding any term of imprisonment imposed for the felony or attempted felony conviction and mandatory forfeiture of the weapon or device under the law. Do you understand the charges, ma'am, in that file and the maximum penalty in each? There is a notice of intent to seek enhanced sentencing as a second habitual offender under MTL 769.10. It says, take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of the following felony offenses, and that before the defendant was convicted of the offense of attempted police officer assaulting, resisting, or obstructing in violation of MCL, penalty to 1 1/2 times the maximum sentence on the primary offense or lesser term. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for the first conviction. Do you understand the enhancement to the maximum penalties based on the notice of intent to seek as enhancement under the second offense notice? Okay, you have the right to counsel. Mr. Annette is here for the purposes of your arraignment. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at all of your court dates, and if you're represented by, if you're questioned by law enforcement, that is. The court's going to present you at the expense of the public. The court will also enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to nation in this file because you are being charged with felonies, and you have the right to have that within 21 days of today's date, unless you waive the timeline or the court finds good cause to go beyond the 21 days. For a probable cause conference on July 24th at 8:30 in the morning. You have a preliminary examination before Judge Flores on July 31st at 8:30 in person at the court. Did you get your notice to appear? You have the right to proceed to a jury trial and the right to maintain your innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty, and you can require that the prosecution prove your guilt by proving each element of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to question or cross-examine any witness called to testify against you, the right to have witnesses subpoenaed to testify on your behalf. And again, silence cannot be used against you, but you can waive your right to silence at trial and give your own testimony. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, ma'am. No, Your Honor.
Are you currently employed?
I'm not.
How do you support yourself?
Family.
Okay, so you don't support yourself, your family supports you.
They help, yes.
How are they helping you if you are not providing any financials to support yourself?
They help me with my mother.
What's the address?
5414 West Michigan Avenue, apartment 304,
What's your phone number?
517-429-9937.
Are you currently on probation?
No,
Are you on parole?
no, ma'am.
Do you have any other criminal matters pending?
I believe so. Not sure.
You're not sure?
Believe so.
Have you ever missed court in the past?
Yes, I have.
Okay. People of the state of Michigan versus Trina McAfee. This is 26-00503 FY. Looks like you should know that you have a matter pending. You were allegedly just arraigned.
Yes,
So when I asked you, did you have any other?
I'm just being honest. I don't know what
No,
happened.
but you don't know what happened after 10 days ago? Ma'am,
No,
is there something that goes on that you have that you can't remember things?
I mean, that is a thing. I'm not even trying to be like funny. I
No,
had a mental
that's
breakdown,
why I'm
so
asking.
I'm not sure what's going on.
With assault with a dangerous weapon, 2 counts, and domestic violence. I don't know how you forget that in 2 days. You got 2 felonious assaults that you were arraigned on by Magistrate Milmore back on the 2nd. Today is only the 12th of July. Count 1, felonious assault with a dangerous weapon, alleging that you committed assault with scissors against a Damian Allen Merrick. Count 2, alleges felonious assault that you allegedly assaulted Damian Allen Merrick with a brick. And then domestic violence was charged at that time as well. It looks like you were arraigned and you were told you not to have any firearms. And you were advised that you had to turn over any firearms within 2 days. Does that refresh your recollection of your other pending charge?
It does refresh, yes.
Oh, okay. And so you were supposed to appear in court, it says, before Judge Cynthia Ward on, and you
Yes,
did not
ma'am.
appear.
I genuinely missed that one. I was tied up with my family, and that's on me. That one's on
You
me.
were tied, your family tied you up?
I was with my family tied up doing things with my children and such. So that's on me. That one is on me.
Okay, then I also have obviously now a bond violation. It must be because of this felony file.
Yes, ma'am. I just want to make it known that I have had a mental breakdown yesterday and I was crying for help. So if that could be help, like if I can get help for that as well, on top of all this, I would like sincerely love that. Because I was crying out for help yesterday. I need
I
help.
hope that I hope that you would get any mental health or emotional health that you need. I do hope that happens for you. I do. You do have here though a bond violation. It says that you on or about July 10th responded to a weapons complaint of a female who was removing and concealing a firearm from her bag. The female was described as a black female with a red shirt, blue bag. Officers located the female in front of 525 Leslie Street where she was intoxicated and blew a .148 on PBT and was in possession of a firearm. And so this actually triggers multiple bond violations because when you were arraigned 10 days prior, well, actually 8 days prior to this, you were advised by the magistrate that while out on bond, you were not or any other dangerous weapon. It states here McAfee was in direct violation of the mentioned subsections and section, and that the bond conditional release was signed by the magistrate on the 2nd of July, and the bond time of up to 93 days in jail for each violation for contempt of court. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, so your matter that is before Judge Ward was supposed to be for probable cause conference. You have a preliminary examination that was originally scheduled before her for the felonious assault on the 17th. May now be treated as a probable cause conference. I'm not sure, but I'll let Judge Ward decide how she's going to address the 17th date because was supposed to be your preliminary.
And then I was supposed to call him. I didn't get a chance to. I don't have a phone.
You do not have a cell phone?
No, I used my friend's phone to call pretrial services, so I had no way to get a hold of Frank after I did.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask for consider a reasonable bond in this matter. Ms. McAfee has a presumption of innocence in this case. What she's charged with are just mere allegations. She has 2 minor children as well, Your Honor, that she tries to support when she has the means to. She's been here her entire life. I'd ask her to give her a reasonable bond. I know any amount of bond is she's probably unable to be afforded. She will, excuse me, unlikely to be able to afford it.
2 counts felony she was arraigned on July 2nd. Again, today's only the 12th of the month of July. She was arraigned. She was given a $2,500 10% bond while out on bond and was supposed to appear in court on the 10th. Based on the allegations, she was out drinking and allegedly.
I did not purchase that firearm.
Ms. Mac, please don't say anything else.
Allegedly reported to the officers that she had just purchased the firearm a couple of days ago, which would have been after she was already arraigned, and told up to 4 years apiece, and probably was charged with a habitual offender offense notice, which would enhance that sentence, and who can't remember that they can't consume alcohol, and who can't. The appropriate bond would be a remand so that they can get to court. So on file number 26-00503, she's remanded to see Judge Ward. because, well, on the new felony. Bond is set in the amount of 5,000 cash surety. While out on bond, she will wear GPS tether. She will participate in drug and urinalysis testing. She's not to possess any firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. She must report to pretrial services within 48 hours of her release. She's not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court.
I would like mental health help as well. Can you guys provide that on top of all the alleged charges I'm getting? I really am asking for help for my mental. So I would like that. How does that help me if I got remanded, Judge? I don't understand. If I have a bond, like I don't get it.
You don't get what, ma'am?
Like you said that I'll be remanded for my cases, correct? Like I can't
You're
leave jail.
You're remanded on one case so that you can see Judge Ward this week because you had a court date on Friday. You can't remember your court dates. You have another one this Friday. I'm inclined to believe that you can't remember your court dates or your bond conditions because that's what you said, and your behavior is very indicative of someone who. So that doesn't sound like a mental illness to me. It sounds like arrogance, and it sounds like I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do, but I don't know you, ma'am. All I know is the information I have before me.
Okay, well, that's not what I was saying, Judge. I'm not trying to say
Were you seeking any mental health counseling outside when you were outside? Where were you getting mental health at?
I was seeking it. I was trying to get it. I didn't know where to look. I had people telling me they were going to help me get help. And then, yes, I was seeking help outside of. Yes, Judge, I was. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm sorry, but I really have been.
Have you ever heard of community mental health?
Correct. Yes, I had no way to. Yeah, but nobody would try to. Yes, I needed help, and I never went to CMH. But I've heard
gotten free mental health services, but you did not go there. Correct.
Correct, because I actually was waiting for a ride. That's the only reason I didn't make it there on time.
Ms. McAvey, we're gonna.
Okay, I don't believe she has a mental health concern that warrants the court ordering even a CAT evaluation. I believe she's arrogant and thinks she's gonna maneuver herself around the court system. But she'll talk to her attorney in private, and her attorney will advocate for whatever they believe she needs. Any additional matters?
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
for your assistance,
Godspeed, ma'am.
Now, if something happens, just remember you assumed this.
Best wishes to you, ma'am.
Disorder. She's saying I don't. That's fucked up.
Watch your mouth before you get a contempt of court. State of Michigan. Versus Jonathan Andrew Case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Georgia Annette APD on behalf of Mr. Case for purposes of arraignment only today. He did conduct the intake with the public defender's office. I'm entering a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
Here, let's see if I can find the complaints. Felony complaints that you need to be arraigned on. The allegations of that order about July 11th, 2026 at 801 Stanley Street, Lansing, Michigan, 48915, that you did knowingly or intentionally possess methamphetamine contrary to Michigan Compel Law 333.7403(2)(bi). It's a felony. Maximum penalty is 10 years in prison and or $15,000 in fines. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir? I also have a notice of intent to seek enhanced sentencing as a fourth habitual offender notice. It says, take notice, the defendant was previously convicted of the following felony offense or attempting to commit the following offense that on or about September 9th, 2022, that he was convicted of the offense of controlled substance possession of methamphetamine, ecstasy in violation of MCL 333.7403(2)(bi) in the Fourth Circuit Court for the County of Jackson, State of Michigan, and that on or about May 12, 2004, You were convicted of the offense of larceny from a motor vehicle in violation of MCL 750.356A1 in the 30th Circuit Court for Ingham County, and that therefore you are subject to the enhanced penalties provided by MCL 769.12 that would enhance your sentence to life if convicted, if the primary offense has a penalty of 5 years or more, 15 years or less if the primary offense has a penalty under 5 years. Your primary offense does have a penalty of more than 5 years, so you are facing up to life if convicted on this. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You have the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty, and the right to maintain your innocence and require the prosecution prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge beyond a. You have the right to remain silent. Again, anything you say, anything you put in writing, the right to have the public defender represent you at the expense of the public. The court will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. Again, you have the right to have an attorney represent you at all of your court dates, and if you're questioned by law enforcement, the court is, you are currently scheduled for a probable cause conference before Judge Flores, July 24th at 9 a.m. Preliminary for me. You were supposed to be before me on Thursday for sentencing. For the original charge, controlled substance possession of methamphetamine, habitual fourth offender. Where were you on Thursday?
Not in Lansing.
You were definitely not in Lansing. You definitely were not in court. So I issued a bench warrant to remand you, because also I had a file for sentencing that indicated that you also failed to report to the probation department, as I ordered you to do your pre-sentence investigation. You didn't do that either. You have the right, again, to take this matter all the way through to trial, the new case, and the right to have the prosecution prove your guilt beyond a. I think you're well versed in your rights at this point. You've been charged as a habitual fourth offense. You're not new to this. You probably could arraign yourself at this point. Do you have any questions about your rights?
No.
Okay, let's see. What's your home address?
I'm homeless.
Last I had that you were unhoused, but you gave us a mailing address. What's your mailing address?
1219 Porter Street.
Whose address is that?
A friend of mine's.
Do they know that you're using their address for your mail?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a phone?
Yes, I do.
What's your phone number?
517-897-2824.
Okay, I'm gonna have to have you re-screened, or I'm gonna have to get a new referral for you to be screened for your sentencing on the other matter. Mr. Ned, I don't know that you need to address bond because I'm remanding him. But to the, okay, so you're being remanded on the matter that you failed to appear for the sentencing. In my file, did you appear before the 55th District Court?
Yes, I did.
So on June 1st, he was sentenced to 24 months probation, 52 days credit.
I will remand you on the old file. The new file, I'll issue a bond at 5,000 cash surety with GPS tether. And you'll do monthly, no drugs, no alcohol. Do you have any questions about your bond on that file?
No.
Any additional matter? State of Michigan versus Patrice Jackson. Parents, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. George Annette, APD, on behalf of Ms. Jackson, purposes arraignment only today. She did conduct an intake with the public defender's office this morning. We'll be entering a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
Hello, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. Thank you for asking.
Okay, this is a matter that's in bench warrant status because you failed to appear before my court back on the 5th of May. The victim did appear. And you were supposed to be before my court for a final pretrial. You were supposed to have a jury trial on June 16th on an assault and battery. And then you also had a bond violation hearing that was scheduled on May 5th. What happened?
I apologize. I was going through a lot. I didn't realize that I had court. I was going through some issues. I didn't have my medication. I'm supposed to be receiving medication that I'm not receiving. If there's any way that I could get help, I'm supposed to be attending CMH, and I don't have my CMH stuff set up yet.
Well, why not? You haven't been to court. We didn't withhold you from doing that. You've been free all this time. Why haven't you been getting your medication or setting up your treatment and program with community mental health?
I just haven't done, and I've been trying to seek help by using drugs and stuff like that. I just recently got set up with, yeah, I am a drug addict. I've been trying to treat myself with drugs, but I've decided to try and do things differently to try and get help through a program. So I'm just happy to be here to try and get this stuff took care of. I do apologize for that.
Okay, I'm trying to understand. I don't, this could be yours. Let's see here, what is this? This is not yours, and this is not yours. This is a black, I don't know why it's in this file.
She does have a PA 53 violation. I'm not sure why Blacksmith stuff is in the file though.
I don't have the correct stuff in here. If someone, nope, literally, everything in this file is Miss Blacksmith's. If someone can maybe run up her information on that file, I can't address it because I don't have it. Or they. This is the matter of the state of Michigan versus Jeffrey Aaron Jackson. Counsel appearance.
He did conduct an intake with the public defender's office. We're entering a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here we go. I do have a misdemeanor complaint for you, Mr. Jackson, with the allegation that on or about July 10th at the area of 911 Clayton Street, Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County, that you did allegedly commit the act of assault. That's a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defender represent you at the expense of the public. Mr. Annette has entered his appearance today for the purposes of your arraignment only. The court will note that you
Yes,
have made a request to have the public defender.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to the presumption of innocence, and you have the right to maintain your innocence and require the prosecution prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to see, hear, or question witness called to testify against you, the right to subpoena witnesses that will testify and testify at your trial. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about any rights right now?
No, Your Honor.
You are currently scheduled for a pretrial conference before Judge Stacia Buchanan on July 28th at 10:30 in the morning. Did you get your notice to appear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you currently employed?
Well, I have a job interview at Myers Warehouse Tuesday and Bridgewater Wednesday, and I donate plasma twice a week.
You support yourself by donating plasma 2 times a week, you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
What's your home?
I'm currently at the Mission on Kalamazoo Street. I have a domestic case. I have is pending.
So you're on bond right now?
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe it's a different complaining witness, Your Honor.
Different, yeah. It's a different complaint.
I'm looking for a bond violation packet. That's what I'm looking for.
I don't have one, Your Honor. I never
Oh, but
violated.
it would come from you. It would come from LPD. Is he supposed to have a bond violation as well?
Checking, sorry.
They're
No
checking.
problem.
No, Your Honor.
I believe it's gonna be 26-00085.
So this would likely trigger a bond violation, or it does trigger a bond violation because you would have been on bond. I don't know why that wasn't picked up, but I'm going to tell you now that with the bond violation, sir, you do have the right to have a contested hearing on the allegations that you violated any bond that you're already on by picking up this new alleged felon misdemeanor, and that also, if you're found to be guilty of a bond violation, you can be found in contempt of court. If he's on,
Yeah.
if he has a bench warrant before Buchanan right now, I have to address it.
I don't have no bench warrant, ma'am. I appeared to all my court hearings and everything. I
I
appeared
thought
every
someone
time.
said there was a bench warrant.
Oh.
There is no bench, I'm asking the jail. There is no bench warrant for him on the other file, correct?
Not that I'm aware of. No, he only has the fresh charge with us, and then he has just the Detroit warrant. Yeah, just a fresh out of us and a Detroit warrant.
Oh, he has a warrant in Detroit.
Ma'am.
But he still has an open case, Mr. Nid here?
Yeah, we're set for jury trial coming up in the next couple weeks, I think.
Okay, well then he does have a PA 53 on that one at least. He can have a formal arraignment on it whenever the court case catches up, but I have left a note in this file so that Judge Buchanan is aware.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's see. And does he have a hold out in
Yes, ma'am.
Detroit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But can I say something
Mr.
about that?
Kidd,
Yeah.
when this is your, you don't need to say anything to me about your hold in Detroit, because I have no control over it.
Gotcha.
Mr. Nid, when is his next court date on this case, ended in 8/5?
Looking right now, Jeffrey John.
28.
You can address bond, Mr. Nid.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask court to consider a PR bond, if not a PR bond, a reasonable bond. Ask court to consider a PR bond. He has a couple of jobs lined up, and it would be very helpful, depending on what happens with the first case that we have of his employment status. Given those circumstances, Your Honor, I'd ask for maybe a GPS tether to ensure safety. Other than that, I'll leave it to the court's discretion. Thank you.
How would someone with a bench warrant in another case be eligible for a PR bond here? There's obviously a presumption that he doesn't go to his court date.
I don't know, man.
Mr. Jackson, it's not gonna make a difference what you're gonna say, so just save your breath.
I mean, if he has something that he wants to say, talk away.
Mr. Jackson's not a good idea. Don't talk. It ain't gonna do you any good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a bond. And what is the case in Detroit that's pending, Mr. Nid?
I don't know. I didn't know he had it. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay. What,
It's not me, Your Honor. It's not me. It's a case of 2013. And I don't know. I never been to Detroit to get any case. That's why.
yeah, see, the problem is I don't have your criminal history, so that's why I'm relying, they didn't attach it in this file for some reason. And so.
Yes. And I've been
Okay.
pulled over. Okay. No.
Statements, I believe, but on the affidavit, she lied.
Yes, she did.
Okay. Because it does trigger a bond violation, number one, because he is on bond here, and he's now picked up another alleged assaultive allegation. Regardless of whether or not it's a different victim, you're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. Not saying that you're not innocent. Not or your action. So with that being said, bond is going to, while out on bond, you're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. No drugs, no alcohol. You got to come to all of your court dates. Do you understand your? Excuse me?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor. I'll be there.
Very good. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set. So they'll put Ms. Blacksmith back on in just a moment for her bond violation. And is this warrant status? Ms. Jackson, you can come back. This matter needs to be reset. We're gonna go straight to jury trial at this point because you have already had or held a bond in this matter will be set in the amount of 2,000 cash surety with GP.
Well, yes, could you please explain to me exactly what's going on?
What's going on is you have a jury trial for an assault and battery against an Alan Adams. Alan Adams appeared in court on the last court date that you failed to appear for, which was back in May. I am now going to have the matter reset for trial.
Okay,
So you have to appear for jury trial. Your bond that I just issued is $2,000 cash surety. You understand that?
what does cash surety mean?
You're probably gonna either have to get a bondsman or you're gonna have to put up $2,000.
Okay, or tether.
Okay,
Did you say or tether?
not or, and tether.
Okay,
Okay, so there'll be both the tether and the bond, because otherwise we can't keep track of you, and then the matter just spirals, and the next time I see you, it'll be October, and I don't have time for that, okay?
okay. So the court date is when?
It'll be set once court reopens tomorrow.
Okay,
We have to we'll set a new trial date then. I can't tell you what, last I checked though, my trial docket is gone all the way into September. That's the only reason why I didn't remand you, because I would have to remand you into September if there was a jury trial. And we're all the way into September at this point. So, that's why I gave you a bond that you could post with the GPS tether so that we can hopefully locate you at the time of your trial, so that we can move forward. The complaining witness has already showed interest by appearing in court.
Oh, man, while I'm in jail, could you please make a request for me to be seen to get my medications and to also get, could I be requested for drug court? And to get,
While you are in jail, you need to make a
Yes.
kite. You need to make a kite for any medical that you need, okay? I will not make a kite on your behalf. You have,
can't request cats for me?
I don't have a reason to believe that you need or require a CATS evaluation at this time.
Because you have to do an evaluation in order to get into cats. Okay, thank you.
But if your attorney speaks to you and believes that that's the case, then that's different. They can make a request to have you evaluated, not necessarily by CATS, but we can have you evaluated. And then as for your request for drug court, mention that to your attorney, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Because that could potentially be something that you could consider, maybe not for the 54A district court drug court, but for another court. You just mentioned that. Do you know who your attorney is?
Are they gonna help me with my psych meds?
No, I told you you need to do a kite to get your psych meds. Your attorney can't get your medication for you. If you're in custody, you have to kite and let them know that you have medication that you need to get, okay?
Okay.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor, I'm sending that notification right now.
Thank you.
I didn't have one, okay. And then let me revise. I don't let me revise because that's what she needs done to me. Yeah.
State of Michigan.
Thank you, Aaron Georgian at APD.
What's that?
Okay, Ms. Kyle, and so because of that, you do have a bond violation by picking up this new case of the alleged armed robbery.
I don't understand how I was out on bond.
Excuse-
I did my year. How am I bond? What's the bond?
And the only thing I see is like file, I believe in charges, 2 R&Os, 2 A and Bs.
Okay, so you have two assault, resist, obstructing an officer pending in circuit court, ma'am. That's the basis of the bond violation. It says that there's a PA 53 that's active pertaining to the accused, to that section 5D of the PA 53 says, do not commit any crime while released. It says, mentioned in the primary narrative of this report, pretrial release order was signed and authorized by Magistrate Milmore back on February 10th, 2025. And it was in relation to LPD complaint number 254. Sorry, back then. It's probably what it looks like, but I don't know. I don't have a criminal history. So you were just being advised of the bond violation that you are facing on this file and the right to have a hearing on that bond violation. If you found, you can face up to 93 days for that violation. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, and so I already given you a 50,000 cash surety bond on that. I don't know what your bond is of the matter for the circuit court, but we will continue your bond on whatever the circuit court matter is. Like, it sounds like you possibly could be remanded. I think the last one we have is. I think the last one we have is King.
That the one in the hospital.
He's no longer there. He's back. State of Michigan versus Bruce Bernard King. Council appearance. Actually, you did not speak. I could do it after the, so that you can get some intake information.
Yep, that'll work. And then I can log out after that, right?
Okay. I'm sorry.
You conduct an intake with the public defender's office. We're gonna be entering a plea of not guilty at this time, asking for a court date.
Okay. Okay, I do have a felony complaint. The allegations here are that on or about July 12th, 2026 at South Martin Luther King Boulevard and Rio Road, Lansing, Michigan, that it's a felony with a maximum penalty of 2 years and or $2,000 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750.506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement, or under MCL 750.81D6 for another violation arising from the same transaction. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty so far? Okay, there's an habitual offender, fourth offense. This is Judge Simmons. Yes. That's perfect. 1983, that is, you were convicted of the offense of larceny in a building in violation of Michigan Compel Law 750.360 at the 55th District Court for Ingham County, State of Michigan. and that on or about January 21st, 1992, you were convicted of the offense of attempt to retail fraud, first degree in violation of MCL 750.356CA. You were convicted of the offense of controlled substance delivery, manufacturing of cocaine, heroin, or another narcotic less than 50 grams in violation of MCL 33 for the county of Calhoun, state of Michigan, and therefore you are subject to the enhanced penalties provided under MCL 769.12 that would enhance your maximum penalty to life if the primary offense had a penalty of 5 years or more, less if the primary offense has a penalty under 5 years. Again, your primary offense in this charge has a maximum penalty of 2 years. Do you understand the charge and the enhancement due to the fourth habitual offender notice?
Yes.
The court is noting that you have made such a request, and the court is also going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. You do have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. By standing, how do you support yourself?
I'm retired.
What's your home address?
2024 Wellesley Drive, Lansing, Michigan.
What's your phone number, sir?
517-410-2512.
You can address bond, Mr. Annette.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask court to consider a PR bond, if not PR bond, a reasonable bond. It's my understanding Mr. King has had not any problems in some time. He's a local homeowner. He lives in Lansing. He's been living in Lansing for 32 years now. This is a mere allegation. Mr. King has a presumption of innocence on. Although I don't know what the affidavit says. I'm not sure if it's like a tug away or like a disregarding a lawful order allegation. However, Your Honor, Mr. King is not going to go anywhere. He's going to make sure he makes it all those court dates and address the matter. He's also legally married. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm just reviewing the affidavit of probable cause again, and this is a situation that appears to have been, or what should have been, a simple traffic stop that somehow results in a felony. I don't see anything within the last 20 years on the defendant's criminal history. Even things from the habitual offender notice, some of them over 40 years old. So bond will be set in the amount of 500 personal recognizance. You need to report to all of your future court dates, okay, sir? You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to travel outside the state without first getting permission of the court. You do need to, you're doing jail again next weekend?
Maybe June.
Yeah, you
wait.
must be,
Oh,
you're volunteering for other people, aren't you?
yeah. Oh, I've been doing it. Yeah, just 95% of the arraignments I've been doing for over a year now, almost every single weekend.
Wow, you're racking it in over there. I see.
Trying to
Got
make
it.
Yeah, trying to make that money. I got bills to pay.
Yeah, and I know you have some coworkers who have only done weekend arraignments probably once in their entire career over there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they appreciate your willingness to
Yeah,
be available for this purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Talk to you. Have a good one.
You too.